This is another big thing, and this is painful. And what I'm about to tell you, it's very painful, and it's hard. But I can tell you that you will have a much better life when you get rid of the negative people in your life.
Oh, wait. Now wait. Now how do you do that? Let's break it down. Tell the Poptastic Nation how to get rid of negative people what's the process? Because that is hard. That's painful. Poptastic Nation, we would like to thank all of you for joining us today on this beautiful Friday. Welcome to the Poptastic Podcast, where we are positive, optimistic, and most
productive.
Of all, productive. So today we're going to have a couple topics, or maybe one good solid topic for you all.
The one thing that I do want to say is thank you all for the feedback.
Yes.
Any constructive criticism is very much welcomed. We want to be better. We're still trying to figure out this thing.
We're still new at this thing, so please help us get all of the kinks out of us already. So we're most definitely grateful for all the constructive criticism. No hard feelings, so please feel free to be very constructive with your criticism.
Like and subscribe too.
Yes, so please. So we do appreciate that. Like I said, we're getting new at this. We're getting our feel around here. So this topic, we're going to stay focused because that was one of the things. But just please be mindful of when we did put out the first podcast, we were just really having fun. And it became an idea, and it was like, hey, we really can do this.
We're like, let's just turn on the camera and see what
let's
happens.
Press play. So today we're going to be talking about a very good topic. We hope you can relate to this topic, or maybe chime in, put some comments in with this topic.
Yeah.
So the topic of the day, we're going to talk about walls.
Yeah, like a personal wall, some sort of limiting belief, some sort of something that's stopping you from going where you want to go,
or where you need to be, right? And mind you, we've all been down that road. As we talk about these walls, I've had walls and obstacles that have kind of risen. Everybody has.
Yeah, me too.
But I think the biggest plus side is once you're able to conquer or tear down a wall, is what momentum did you have? What tactic did you apply to tear down that wall or climb over that wall? But to be able to help many other people conquer and tear down some of those walls that they may face. So as walls continue to build up within the mind or just around you, how do you take on those walls? So today we're going to be talking about those walls.
Well, so now one thing that we've been thinking about doing is, do we do so we're trying to keep the episodes, each recording. Like the first recording we recorded for 2 hours. And then from that, I just kind of broke it up into the different topics we've done. So now we're trying to keep each recording to about 15 minutes and maybe edit. So we're thinking, do we do like the top 7 things you need to know to break through that barrier, get rid of that mental block so you can move forward?
Okay.
Or do we just talk?
So you let us know. We most definitely want your feedback. So as we continue to build this up, one day, just remember this. This is part of the building process. You are a part of the building process.
Absolutely.
One day, this will be great, right? And then one day, people that come back and watch some of the beginning videos can kind of see, oh my God, wow. They really worked out the kinks to see what it is. Absolutely. And it's all about the process. You're not jumping out in anything and being perfect at it the first time.
Yeah.
So we're grateful and thankful for the process and to be able to talk to you all and be able to work out some of those kinks together.
So, I think, let me start off with, the reason why I brought this up, because we're like, what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, I met with somebody today, and they have a mental block. They've had this mental block for a couple of years. Okay. And this guy, he's been telling me the exact same stories for the past couple of years.
It's the same story.
Same story.
Okay.
I'm doing this. I'm really good at this, but I don't like doing it. I want to do this other thing. But then he tells me about all of this stuff from the past. I was amazing at this. I was the best person in the industry. Nobody else could do it any better. Blah, blah, blah. And so I guess the biggest block for this guy is he's living in the past. He's like this, he's remembering his heyday. His high school, whatever, like Ted or Al Bundy is,
So why do you think he's living in the past?
I think it's because he's scared of the future. I think, and when I left today, I said basically he's comfortable. He's comfortable doing what he's doing. He's making enough money to pay his bills.
And he's satisfied with that. That's good enough.
And he's comfortable. But he has this goal, I gotta do more. And I think he's scared to be uncomfortable. And I can tell you from personal experience is the magic happens outside your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is here. The magic happens outside your comfort zone.
I totally agree. It's kind of like when you get invited somewhere, right? And you really don't want to go to whatever function it is, and you think that, hey, it's going to be boring, or people are going to look at me a certain way. I don't really want to go. And then you go, you step out of that comfort zone, and you go, and you have the time of your life.
Yeah.
And then you sit back and reflect and say, oh my God, if I would have just stayed home, I would have missed out on all of this.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of people. It's fear, and a lot of people do get comfortable. They're afraid to step out of that comfort zone. But I guess the biggest thing here is we have this podcast. What advice do you have for those that may be watching? I mean, because ultimately there may be people that be watching this podcast that may be in that same boat. They want to do more, but they're comfortable. They're satisfied with the money that they're making, but they know deep down that they should be doing so much more in their life.
So the thing that I talked to this guy about, he's like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. I'm like, do you have a vision board?
A vision board.
And he's like, what? He's like, because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because he's been in this personal development space. Like he's done this before, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Let's break this down, right? So I like to break things down for newbies. Now, mind you, I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching this podcast is probably, you may know what a vision board is, right? But there may be somebody that watched this podcast, right? Or hear this podcast and say, what the hell is a vision board? Or what should this vision, I think I have an idea, right, of what this vision board should look like. But let's break it down to what the vision board should really look like. I
mean, a vision board, like it's what a lot of times what people do is they get a whole bunch of magazines.
Mm-hmm.
They get like a cork board or something like that. And you get a whole bunch of magazines, and then you cut out of the magazine your future life.
Your future life.
What car do you want? Do you want to fly on a private airplane?
No.
Where do you want your house to be? Do you want the kids, dogs, wife?
Now there may be some people out there that may think that really doesn't work. Do you think that's really effective?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you want to know what? When you wake up every day and you see the thing that you are striving for, and it's just kind of in the side of your head. It's not something that is top of mind. But what happens is, in a year or two, when you are successful, and you look and you're like, oh, let me look at that vision board. I'm living in this house.
I agree.
I have this wife. I have this car.
So I'll chime in. Mike is correct, right? I think a vision board is important. I'm the type, I need to physically see it and touch it to put myself in that space. So just this past week, me and my son, we went to a car dealership. I won a Maserati. I sat inside of the Maserati. I felt the Maserati. I felt the dash. I felt the seats. There was a Bentley there. I sat inside of that Bentley and I said, wow. And as I sat inside of these cars, I really felt it. I felt like, okay, I can own it. I believe.
Yeah.
At that moment. It's one thing to see one ride past you, right? It's one thing to kind of see it.
To get in there and be like,
yeah, but to really feel it, to get that feeling, it was like real. It was like, hey, this is very tangible. I can do it.
Yeah.
So a vision board is important. It's a reminder to say, hey, this is what you're striving for. What's cool is I had my daughter just recently do a vision board. So
really?
She has a vision board in her room. I mean, she's young, you know, but it has Gucci, Chanel, and all of that stuff, right?
But see,
and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, you can most definitely have all of those things. So I do think a vision board is important.
There's there's somebody I know that has she has a big group underneath her. It's a network marketing group. They do health and wellness products. She has a big group of powerhouse people underneath her, right? And I think they do this mastermind group kind of a thing where they all sit down and they make vision boards like once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah.
And they go back and reflect on it and see what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
Solid. All right.
So I mean, it's that important. You know, it's important.
Okay. So what's step 2? We got the vision board, right?
Step 2 of kind of getting out of your comfort zone is it sounds weird, but it's like do things that are uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So when I knew I wanted to be president of the LJCs, and I knew I wanted to be the executive director of the Elgin Technology Center. And I knew in order to do a good job there, I would have to learn how to be a presenter.
Okay.
So when I was with the JCs, I took this presenter course. It was an 8-hour all-day thing, and you have to get up and present in front of people. And I'm an introvert. He's not an introvert. Shame on him. I'm serious, man. The first time I ever went to the tech center, I took the elevator up. It's just one floor up. Took the elevator up. It opened up. There's like 50 people there. I didn't know anybody. And you know what I did? I was like, I was very uncomfortable. I was like, hello? Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, I gotta go. I was there for like 3 or 4 minutes and I left.
So getting out of that comfort zone and putting yourself in a place to being uncomfortable is important.
But what I did is I kept doing it.
Right.
I kept doing it. Then I would go to this other thing, and then I would do this other thing, and then I kept doing it.
But okay, so if you continue to do it, then at one point in time you have to get comfortable.
Then you're right. So I would speak in
kind
front of the people in this little
immune system to be around that.
Okay. Because I'm a lifelong learner. I have to continually learn new things and try new things, and eventually it's easier for me to get outside my comfort zone.
Okay.
But that's basically, I guess step number 2 is you have to be persistent.
Persistent enough.
It's uncomfortable.
It is.
But it's
like growing pains, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like, for those of you that work out, in order to get the results that you want, they say if you don't feel the burn, then there's no point, right?
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain, right? So I agree. I agree with that. You most definitely want to be persistent with building up these walls. I would share some words of encouragement for everybody that's out there that's listening to us now. I mean, we've all been down that road to where we have walls, right? Self-doubt. Maybe it's dream killers, like I like to call it. There's people around us that may plant that seed of doubt to say, hey, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think you should do it. And then you start falling into that rut. There's a lot of reasons for a lot of different people to build up those walls. But one thing I must say, how you're going to miss, right, if you don't take the shot,
Yeah.
So for all of you that's out there that's watching that maybe have whatever barrier or whatever wall that you may be facing, how you know you're gonna miss that shot if you don't take it? You know,
you will miss 100% of the shots you do not take.
Yep, absolutely. So for everybody that's out there that may have some different walls that's being built up, whatever may be stopping you from going to get to your dreams, to accomplish your goals, just know, first you want to get out of your comfort zone. A lot of people get stuck in their rut.
Yeah.
If you want to make more money, if you want to be a better husband, a better dad, a better person, whatever it is, and these are some of the things that you want to do, and you feel it, right? How about you go against the grain, right, and do something different?
Yeah.
What is it? The definition of Einstein. Einstein breaks it down. He say the definition between a sane man and an insane man. An insane man will continue to do the same things over and over again, looking for and expecting a different result. And a sane man will do something different to get different results.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that, right? They wake up every morning doing the same thing, complaining about the same thing every morning, but you're not doing anything different than yesterday, right? And I think what happens is a lot of people get frustrated, right? And when they feel that they gave their all and they feel that the timing is right and it doesn't happen on their time, that's when it's like, hey, I want to throw in the towel, man. I did everything. So mind you, Mike said it, you want to be persistent at what you do. You don't want to give up, at what you do. You want to continue to chisel, continue to build. You don't want to get to that point to where you're feeling like, well, I did that, but okay, how long did you really do it? We read tons of books, and they say it takes 30 days to create a new habit.
Yeah.
Right? That's the average, right? 30 days, right? So if you want to break some of your old habits, you're going to need to be consistent for 30 days, right?
And on top of that, I mean, you're touching on a really good point, and you're touching on negativity.
Yeah.
Right? Negativity and complaining. And
because that's a lot of the the role of really building up walls. A lot of people that have these walls that's built up, it's a lot of negative. Because when you really think about walls, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm a positive person. And me saying that I'm a positive person, I'm able to overcome tons of walls.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of walls can't even be built on my foundation because I'm positive.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. So negativity aids, the wall process of building the wall, rather.
Yeah.
So that's important. Who you're surrounding yourself with. What are the thoughts that you're having?
And this is another big thing, and this is painful. And what I'm about to tell you, it's very painful, and it's hard. But I can tell you that you will have a much better life when you get rid of the negative people in your life.
Oh, wait. Man, now wait. Now, how do you do that? Let's break it down. Tell the Poptastic Nation how to get rid of negative people. What's the process? Because that is hard. That's painful.
Because you know what it could be? It could be family.
Whoa, so you telling me?
It could be your spouse.
So you're telling me to divorce my spouse? You telling me to get rid of my family? How? Break this down, Mike. Mike is looking at me like, oh, man.
Well, I have family members that were, like, I live here in Chicagoland.
Uh-huh.
My whole family's in California. And when I would go out to California, all the family would want to see me and the kids, all that kind of stuff. And, like, some of them were just negative, complaining about everything. It was too far to drive. It was like the traffic was terrible. Like, the weather's whatever. Like there was just always complaining, always complaining. And I'm like, I told my mom, I'm just like, look, I don't want to be around them all the time because it's bringing me down.
Now that's solid. So
because we were there for just a couple of weeks, a year, they wanted to be with us all the time. Like, we're going to go out to dinner. They would come.
So how do you distance yourself from that? Right? Because it's easier said than done, right? Because especially if it's family.
Yeah.
I mean, you said spouse. That was bold. So, I mean, look, Mike gonna have to break this one down because he's not gonna get me in trouble when I get home, right? but you know what? You are right.
But the biggest thing is you have to set boundaries.
You do.
And I ended up setting boundaries. Like, it's like, look. And so my wife and kids and I, we would go out there and it would be like, look, I can't handle this negative stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't handle it. It's that I don't want to handle it.
Right.
I don't want to deal with it. So it's like, so my spouse was my partner, I guess I could say, where I'd be like, look, if I say this word or something like that, then you need to say, okay, we need to go.
Right.
Kind of a thing to kind of help me set these boundaries.
I think what happens, right? So we're chiming in on walls and we're chiming in on, going through this hard process of cutting people loose, right?
Yeah.
And detaching yourself. I think the biggest thing is to not be so open and willing to entertain a lot of things, right? Because, mind you, a lot of times people will want to bring negativity or they want to gossip, whatever it may be. They want to complain, right? But it's up to you to feed into it or to entertain that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So my rule of thumb is separating yourself, distancing yourself, right? Yeah. That's the key to cutting people loose. We're not telling, and I don't think Mike is insinuating to say, hey, cut them off, hey, I want a divorce, hey, don't talk to me. You don't have to.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm going. Here's my goals. I'm going here. I'm going like this is my goal is up here, and if you guys are trying to bring me down, then.
But see, I don't think. But see, I'm
going there anyway.
This is something that I would say. I don't think a lot of people that's negative, they don't really have intentions on really bringing you down.
Exactly.
That's not their motive, but they just don't understand that. Hey, I'm having a great day, and I don't want to hear all the complaining or all of that negative energy that you're bringing. So naturally, I think with negative people, they just want to vent. And they're willing to vent to anybody that has an open ear to listen to it. So
a lot of times that's me.
Yeah. So what I tend to do is if somebody's calling and I know the type of person that they are, if they are negative, short and sweet. I always be respectful to everybody. But my rule of thumb is hey, what's going on? Got to make it quick. I have something going on right now. I'm busy.
See, you're setting a boundary.
I'm setting a boundary. So that way I'm not entertaining too much. And mind you, if the conversation is positive or something that I need to know, then okay.
Last a little longer.
It may last a little longer. But if not, then it's just like, if you're around somebody that's always negative or always complaining, do I want to spend my nightcap, with this person? Maybe that's that time you find something else to do. Maybe, hey, you know what, I have something else going on. I mean, it's using wisdom, at the end of the day. I think a lot of people need to use more wisdom. I'm cautious and careful on what I entertain, who I entertain. You know what I mean? I'm not a big club goer. I don't do clubs so far because there's just so much going on. Now, mind you, if I'm with a group of peers, that's fun. Okay, cool. I'll hang out. But the moment that I start to see that, hey, okay, things are starting to shift, having too much to drink, that's my cue. I'm out. Hey, it's time to go home, guys. You all have a Poptastic night. See you later. Be safe, right? Mm-hmm. That's my cue because I use wisdom on knowing that, hey, I need to separate myself from certain things. And, hey, I don't want to go off in too deep. And mind you, it's like politics, right? Okay, a lot of people say, hey, don't even talk about it. Don't even get into it. I mean, everybody have different views, and that's perfectly fine, right? Yeah. And I'm not going to debate and have an argument on who's right, who's wrong. Hey, man, whatever you believe, whatever floats your boat, that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? It's kind of like sports, people watch sports, right? And they get emotionally attached and they be upset that their team is losing. It's like, man, you really have no control over that. You're allowing that to affect your day. So when it comes to negative people and cutting them off, sometimes it's better. I mean, sometimes it's better to let go of some friends, you know, if they're negative or they're bringing you down and they're not adding any value to your space. That's a wise decision because, mind you, there is billions of people in this world, billions of people that you can potentially meet. Yeah. But pretty sure out of all of how many people in this world? 6 billion?
7 billion, maybe?
7 billion, 6 billion. Out of all of these people, man, I'm pretty sure there is an awesome handful of people that were meant just for you that will add value to your life. And I think that's the key, you know, finding people and having people in your life that add value, you know.
That's it right there. Have people in your life that add value.
Yeah.
And especially when you're trying to do that thing that you want to do and you want to, you know, you might need those people to help break down those walls so you can get to where you want to go outside that comfort zone.
Right. Positive people, man. I mean, and it's tiers to it, right?
Yeah.
It's tiers to it. You know, as you step, I mean, whether you're on a religious side, right? There's people that their beliefs may be higher. Maybe they may have a stronger faith than you, and you may be going through some things, and they may give you the solid words of encouragement. That's kind of important, you know. I mean, financially, maybe there's somebody that's, man, they're in the big leagues, you know, they're playing in the big leagues, you know, they're doing 6-7 figures, you know, and they can encourage you to say, look, you know, man, it's not that hard. You can do this, you know, you overcomplicating things, or maybe you just need to watch them and see how they move, kind of see some of their habits and ask them questions, you know. But those are some of the keys, you know, as we dive in today. You know, we know a lot of walls are there. Mike said, hey, some things you're going to have to do is, you know, it's going to be painful, and that's cutting people loose.
But that's part of being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's being solid. Because guess what? When you cut somebody loose, please believe, I believe, that person will be replaced with the right person. So my favorite saying is, you know, when it comes to business, the first thing you have to do before you can move the bus is get the right people on the bus, right? And in order to do that, you got to get the right people in the right seat, right? Right? You get them on the bus, you get the right people in the right seat, right? Because some people can be sitting in positions that they're not supposed to be sitting in. So you want to make sure that you get the right people in the right seat. And then you want to get the wrong people off the bus, right? Because sometimes you just allow so many people to get on a bus that's not even meant to be on this bus at all, right? So once you get the right people on the bus, the right people in the right seat, and then the wrong people off the bus, right? Then that's when that bus can officially move.
Time to go.
Man. So we hope that you enjoyed this Poptastic podcast today. I hope it kind of helped you all with some of the walls that we built up. Everybody had to face those, you know, some of those walls that we built up, whether it's fear, whether it's being complacent and comfortable. You want to get out of that comfort zone, and yes, it's going to hurt. You're going to feel very uncomfortable. You're going to be nervous doing something that you've never done before, and that's perfectly fine. But in order to have the growth and have the results that you're looking for, you have to get out of your comfort zone and out of your own way. And then Mike chimed in, you have to be able to cut some people off, because as you're growing and getting out of that comfort zone and trying to go to that next level and tearing down walls, as you tear down this wall and knock and climb over these walls, you can't bring some of those people that you had with you back then. You have to be willing to let them go, so that way you can go on to your next journey and find new people that's going to elevate you to that next level. So just be okay with that. We most definitely hope that you enjoyed this topic. We hope that it most definitely helped you.
Yes.
Please, once again, give us constructive criticism. We're infant right now. Help us walk. Help us crawl. We're not even in a crawling state, right?
Yeah.
So help us, right? So help us, because one day we will be walking. We will be skipping and running, and you're gonna sit back and say, "Man, I remember these guys were in their little secret
and you know what?
spot."
Let us know what questions you have on this topic, or let us know what topics you want us to talk about.
Let us know. Yeah, that's perfect.
And let us know what guests you think we should have on the show, because we've been talking about having guests.
Yes.
We have another little set up so we can have another guests come in.
And if you feel that you should be one of those guests, please let us know.
Reach out.
So that way we can sit down, talk with you, and we can put it together. So here we are. We coming to the conclusion here. You all have a very poptastic day.
Mm-hmm.
Be productive.
Optimistic.
Positive. And you can switch those P's around. It doesn't matter because a P is a P at the end of the day. Right? So if it's positive first, optimistic, and then productive, or productive, optimistic, and then positive, hey, it doesn't matter. It still put the pop into the pop.
Into the Poptastic.
Yes.
Poptastic Nation, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share if you will.
And we'll see you next Friday.